Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A group of school districts have a plan for a safe return to school, and it involves a whole lot of nurses.
Police are searching for the other car in what they're calling a case of road rage that turned deadly.
And a local family desperate for answers about the death of a woman who was in police custody when she passed. The family of Priscilla Slater coming together tonight to celebrate her life, even as they push for answers about her death.
She was found unresponsive inside a holding cell on Wednesday at the Harper Woods Police Department. Local 4 defender Sean Lay has been looking into the timeline of events. Sean?
Let's get right to it. The Director of Public Safety here telling the defenders when Priscilla Slater was discovered unresponsive in the holding cell, they called medics right away. The second call they made was to MSP to launch an independent investigation. Police say here they want to know why Priscilla Slater passed away in that holding cell. And her heartbroken family also telling the defenders tonight they have questions too. This has to hurt.
Yeah, it really hurt me a lot. I was really close to my sister.
Heartbroken family on Detroit's east side tonight telling the Local 4 defenders that Priscilla Slater was not only one of 13 sisters, but a shining light to this close-knit family. Tell me about your sister.
She was very loving.
Yes.
Crazy. She was just her.
Everybody loved her.
Everybody loved her.
The defenders have learned that Slater, who was 38, was found unresponsive Wednesday afternoon at 12:35 in a holding cell inside the Harper Woods Public Safety Department. Here's the timeline that we're putting together. Police were called Tuesday morning at 1 a.m. at the Park Crest Motel for a disturbance. Slater and a 27-year-old man were taken into custody on undisclosed felony charges. Police tell the defenders the contact with Slater was handcuffing her, driving her to the department, and placing her in a holding cell. We're told she was cooperative and gave statements to detectives. Slater was checked every 30 minutes, we're told, and it appeared to police that she was sleeping most of the time she was in the cell. We're told she did not call out for help and did not seem in distress. When lunch was served 11 and a half hours later, Slater was unresponsive. Medics were called to revive her, but Slater was pronounced dead.
They saying that she died of complications. She
wasn't sick.
She wasn't sick.
Complications of what?
High blood pressure and coronavirus.
Back here live, just got an update from the Director of Public Safety saying an autopsy on Slater performed today, but toxicology results not expected for a week or two. Those results may answer a lot of questions. We're live in Harper Woods tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4 defenders.
Sean, is there any information about the man who was taken into custody with Slater?
That's right. At the same motel, 27 years old. Family says they don't know who he is. He's still here tonight. Charges were submitted to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Remember, those are felony charges. They expect the charges to be approved tomorrow, and we can find out exactly what they were being charged with and why they had contact with police in the first place.
Yeah, still lots of questions. All right, thanks, Sean.
Redford police believe road rage is the reason an 8-year-old girl will now have to grow up without her father. John Slowick Jr. was shot and killed. This was while out driving in the area of Telegraph and Beach Daily. Larry Spruill joins us now live after talking to his family and police. And Larry, officers, in fact, released a photo of the suspect's vehicle.
Yeah, Sandra, police say the car they are looking for is similar to this car right here in these pictures. They say everything happened here in this Redford Township neighborhood. I spoke with the family tonight, and they tell me they are simply asking why.
He's always a good child, and he was always the center of attention, always outgoing and concerned, caring.
John Slowick Sr. wants the world to know about his son, 31-year-old John Slowick Jr. Slowick says his son was more than his child, but a loving father of an 8-year-old daughter.
It's been very difficult over the past week. Without each other, I don't think we could have really managed as well. We've come together as a family. We're trying really hard to cope and comfort one another, and it's a great loss to us.
Redford Township police say on June 6th, Slowick was shot and killed on Acacia near Telegraph from a possible road rage incident. Police say Slowick was driving a red 2010 Chevrolet Aveo. There was an accident with a white Chevrolet Impala like this one. Officers say the driver of the white Impala shot Slowick and drove off.
I just don't know how somebody could do that. It just, it just doesn't make any sense. Being angry or something at someone is one thing, but to take it out in that way is just not the way to do things.
We need to know.
Look into your heart and feel, and bring yourself out, and do what is best for everybody.
And again, police are looking for the driver of this 2006 through 2010 Chevrolet Impala. I do want to point out that the passenger side light, police say, is brighter than the driver's side. So if you happen to see this car with that headlight incident, you're asked to call police. We are live in Redford Township tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Let's hope those pictures help. All right, thank you, Larry.
Friends and neighbors across Metro Detroit spent this day cleaning up damage from last night's severe weather. In Grosse Pointe Woods, trees generations old snapped by the high winds, sending them onto houses. Nearby, several homes and garages caught fire after the wind blew down power lines. Folks there said they saw sparks and fireballs for nearly 4 hours. One man had to drive his car from his burning garage and then was forced to watch it burn.
That's all you could do, because you couldn't go back there because there's live power lines in the backyard.
At one point yesterday, DTE reported more than 125,000 outages. Right now, that number is close to 62,000. So much work to do to get everything cleaned up.
Yeah, but we definitely enjoyed much calmer weather today. Ben's here now with more on the storms that did so much damage.
Yeah, guys, we had warnings in effect for really every single county in southeast Michigan. But when you look at the damage reports, there was only one county that was spared from actual damage, and that was Monroe County. There were no reports out of there, but everybody else got it pretty good. In fact, there's probably a lot of places that saw damage that didn't make an official report out of it. Very little, if any, hail. Some of that was on the east side there at about 1 inch in diameter, but it does look a whole lot different today. We're looking at temperatures right now, which are in the 70s. The humidity drop has been dramatic from that tropical 70-degree dew points to the 50s and 40-degree dew points that we're seeing right now. Wind's still a little bit on the brisk side there, about 10 to 15 miles an hour, but things are going to be even cooler tonight, and that humidity continues to drop. We'll look at where numbers go for the weekend. They are continuing to move downward. We'll see how cool things get for Saturday and Sunday in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, thank you, Ben. Summer hasn't begun officially just yet, but there are a lot of exhausted parents and sheltered-in-place students wondering what school is going to look like come fall. In Oakland County, they have decided on an unusual approach, hiring a lot of nurses to try to keep an eye on things. Rod Maloney is live tonight in Waterford with more on the plan. Rod?
Yeah, hi, good evening. We're at Waterford Mott High School right now, and a lot of parents are wondering what's to come this fall. And so it turns out that here in Oakland County, it's going to be a lot of experienced medical help to try and keep the kids safe and virus-free.
Schools will reopen in the fall.
With that declaration, Oakland County School Superintendent Dr. Wanda Cook Robinson knows parents and staff alike are deeply concerned.
This initiative will help to bring some calm to some of the craziness that we have been dealing with over the last several months.
Oakland County schools encompass 28 districts with more than 400 buildings housing more than 200,000 students. The ads looking to hire 68 nurses for 90 days this fall will go out soon. The program's price tag roughly $2 million. Oakland County Executive David Coulter believes in the approach requiring county commission approval.
It's important for our students, it's important for the staff that work in those buildings, and let me just say, from a health perspective, I believe it's also important as we begin to think about the possibility of a second wave of this virus.
The nurse job description's pretty broad. Consult with districts, train staff and students, oversee social distancing, and monitor what's working and what's not. And the nurses will have a lot of say in making necessary changes.
It will reduce the anxiety that students, parents, teachers, and administrators have about returning to school, because they'll know that we have a health professional at the realm guiding us on site.
Well, that anxiety is palpable because the district is saying that about 20% of the parents don't want to send their kids to school and want to keep them home in the fall, and so they're girding for that as well. But there is a plan now, or a group subcommittee working on the plans and what to do and how to set up this system for those nurses to operate when they get hired in. Reporting live in Waterford, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
So much to still figure out. All right, thank you so much, Rod. Today's numbers from the state include a slightly higher number of cases, 218. Sadly, Michigan has lost another 26 people to COVID-19.
Now, if current trends hold, Lawrence Tech University plans to bring students back to campus for the fall semester. LTU has been known for its small class sizes, which the school president believes will help them transition to social distancing. And we talked about it at 5. Eastern Michigan University will offer single-room guarantees for students who will live in residence halls on campus. So basically, if a student doesn't want to have a roommate, well, they don't have to have one this fall. One of the things that has been puzzling even the most casual observers of the COVID-19 outbreak is why some people in some parts of the world are so much more affected than others.
Dr. Frank McGeorge is here again now with some preliminary research into some of those reasons. Doc?
Yeah, Steve and Sandra. You know, early on, when parts of the world like Italy were being ravaged by COVID-19, people wondered why. Was it that it had been spreading silently there? Was it related to different social customs? Or was there something genetically different about the population? Now, we still aren't sure, but genetics seem to be important. Several months ago, a research paper looking at patients in Wuhan and Shenzhen, China, suggested having type A blood was associated with a higher risk of acquiring COVID-19 than other types, and type O blood appeared to have the lowest risk of infection. Now, this paper remains unpublished and has not gone through peer review. Subsequently, though, a group of researchers at Columbia University in New York looked at the blood type and severity of disease in over 1,500 patients diagnosed with COVID-19. They also found a higher proportion of blood type A patients and a lower proportion of patients with type O blood who were COVID-19 positive. They did not, however, find that blood type had any relationship to the risk of requiring intubation or dying from COVID-19. Now, this paper is also preliminary and currently unpublished, but taken together, both of these papers raise the question of how someone's blood type and ultimately their genetics could be important. Two more, even newer studies are trying to answer that. A preprint study from Germany evaluated the genome of nearly 2,000 patients with COVID-19 respiratory failure from 7 hospitals in Italy and Spain. They found variations in a person's genes in at least 2 particular places in the human genome were associated with an increased risk of respiratory failure. One of those places includes the gene for blood type. Now, the finest, newest bit of information suggests a link between blood type and COVID susceptibility comes from a preliminary release of information by the company 23andMe. Now, they haven't formally published any data yet, but they say their early analysis similarly found people with type O blood were less likely to have tested positive. Back to you.
New at 6.
It seems like everyone here has a story. They are angry at FedEx here in one suburban community. I'll tell you